rise for the moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item up for our work session here is academic affairs.
Hi, good evening. So we're going to start tonight with a presentation from some of our 7th grade students. If you want to come up and log in. They've been working in the Empowerment Collaborative. I'm not going to steal their thunder. I want them to be able to share with you what they've been doing so far this school year. But I do have some white papers here for anyone who is a new member of the board. If you haven't received one, you're welcome to take a copy. Just take a moment for them to bring up their presentation. These are 2 students from our 7th grade.
So to start off tonight, we have 2 7th grade students. I'm a 7th grade teacher, Marisa Bichetto, and we've been working this year on a new initiative. We're starting out just a few days a week working with the students with something called the Empowerment Collaborative. So we are coming representing our 7th grade student company that they devised called BMS Works. And 2 representatives from this company, and there's the logo that our students came up with for this, to tell you a little bit about the Empowerment Collaborative very briefly, and also to tell you a little bit about the first larger project that we're doing. We've been doing some smaller things along the way to kind of build up to it, about the first larger project that we're starting, and just where we're at with that here, just in the very beginning, just to kind of give you a little bit of background about something new that we're doing within the building in 7th grade. So, our presenters are Zaylee Schultz, a 7th grade from BMS Works, as well as Ryder Barron, and then myself and also Laura Chafin. She's also the other empowerment coach for 7th grade, just kind of working through the learning with everyone also how exactly this process works and working with our other team members in 7th grade, as well as all of our students. And we put together just a very brief agenda that the students would like to go through in their slide set to inform you of just a little bit of what they've been doing. Okay, so Zaylee's going to start us off.
What is Empowerment Collaborative? A student-led learning model where students solve meaningful problems, preparing them for college, careers, leadership, and life. Photo gallery. Right here is some projects that we've been doing throughout the year. And over there is a picture of the student handbook made by BMS Works.
Our current project is making the pool cool. How did we come up with the project? We discovered that the pool is very underused. What do we hope to achieve? The increased usage of the pool and to improve organization and improve the design picture we have the BMS Works Handbook cover page. On one of the pages of the business plan, we're trying to fill it out to represent to the school board. And we hope to fill out this checklist when we are filling out the business plan.
Making the pool cool. Real world skills development. Communication. Reaching out to the community, contacting resources. Problem solving. Designing the business plan to solve the underusage of the pool. And teamwork. Working in groups to talk about what we're doing for the pool and trying to fix it.
Technology. We are filming what we are doing for the development of the project. There are leadership opportunities for natural leaders to emerge and others to build skills. We encourage professionalism and work ethic. Each student has a job in the company that they applied for and interviewed for, as well as the student established rules and protocol for work performance.
Project deliverables. Work together in BMS Works groups to develop a business plan outlining realistic uses for the pool and budget. Design a visual presentation or digital slideshow to support the business plan. Propose a pitch to be shown to the school board panel. One pitch will be chosen. Reflect on teamwork, communication, and problem-solving skills.
This is our project timeline of what we have done and what we are hoping to do in the future. In September through October, the students were introduced to Empowerment Collaborative. In October, November, and early December, we worked on the student handbook. In December, January, and early February, we were launching Make the Pool Cool. And in January through February, we are working on our business plan. And in February through March, we are making and presenting our pitch.
Project budget. Up to $12,000 grant money per year over 5 years.
Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is our contact information.
So will you be back for pitches to the school board?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions?
Nice job.
I appreciate it. You're not a pool, it's definitely underutilized.
So you should expect to see them in February or March coming back, so they'll be bringing their ideas for the pool, some things they'd like to do in the pool process for your approval.
Hey, you do not need to stay. You guys can go.
We won't torch you anymore.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The other items that I have on our agenda right now, I'm going to skip over the school calendar, if that's okay.
Yeah.
We do have 3 surveys that we are hoping to be able to distribute to our high school and middle school students. The first survey is the 8th grade student survey for the Empowerment Collaborative. The reason that it's for our current 8th graders is because they'll be surveying our 7th graders next year to show how their skills have changed between our current 8th graders. So that's why our Empowerment Collaborative is for our 7th graders currently, but the first survey round will be focusing on our current 8th graders. The second survey that we have in place is a very brief high school career survey. We are just taking a look at, for our high school students, some of their interests in regards to the career clusters. And the other survey that's on our agenda tonight is a proposal from Luzerne County Community College. They are looking for some information from our students in regards to course offerings that they would like to provide here at the Berwick Center. Any questions?
Other topic on here, you have copies of the school calendars that we've provided to you in months past. I think it's kind of decision time. I'd like to have have the calendar on next week's voting agenda, but I need direction on which one you want to go with, or if there's alterations to one that you want to make.
I have a question. For the one to start August 20th and have Fair Week off, the last day on both calendars is June 1st. Would we be able to move the last day of school to June 4th, so we didn't have to start on August 20th and be able to still start on August 25th then? With the last day of school being June 4th.
You could, I don't think you want to have graduation on a school day. If the hope is to have graduation on 4th, that would be the only reservation I would have. Maybe you could move it to the 3rd and then start on the 24th.
I like that better than the 20th.
Yeah, 20th. I have no interest in starting the 20th.
Yeah. But if you want to keep the fair, I mean, the Fair Week, I don't have an opinion on. I mean, but I like
You could
the,
do Wednesday through Friday instead of.
I was gonna say, we have that half day.
Dr. Bennett, is this sent out to the teachers?
It was, we shared it with the union. I think they took a survey and they, if I'm remembering correctly, I think something like 68% like the Fair Week off.
I think to me, if we survey our teachers and want their input, that carries a lot of weight with me.
I might be off on the percentage.
Right,
I guess
no,
I
but it
think
was
I
the
previously
majority,
sent it
went
out.
that way.
That sounds familiar though, that percent. And I agree with Bob.
Because one of the feedbacks I had, and I forgot about it until just today, is, a lot of our more employees and students miss having the money off after Thanksgiving.
I agree. We should
I
have
mean,
that.
it's no longer a hunting day, obviously, because that has since changed, but there's people that take a long extended vacation and they're coming back, I mean, that's the majority of the feedback I've heard other than the fair issue.
And the one with the fair does not have that Monday off. Am I looking at that correctly?
Neither does. I would have to add that if that's a request, which would change.
Which would,
things, but-
obviously, yeah.
So if you do that, now you're pushing it to the 2nd. I mean,
Well, if we don't start till the 24th, you're already pushing it to the 3rd.
I mean, the idea behind the 20th, depending, the number doesn't matter, but it's just that whole starting 5-day week. I think that's probably the philosophy behind that. A lot of people didn't like that for the students, not for the teachers, because they're starting before that, but it was that, start the kids with all full 5 weeks, full 5 days.
I agree.
That is kind of rough when you
Can't have
start
everything.
full week right off the
Right.
gate.
The other thing we have December starting half day 22nd, we can bump that to 23rd. There's a lot of years that
That's
23rd is our last day of
Yeah.
school.
I didn't follow that one. What did you say?
Okay.
on the
You're looking
calendar,
on the one-
they
Yeah.
start the 20th. There's a half day, or there's not a half day on the 22nd, there's a half day on the 23rd.
It depends which one you're looking at.
Okay, yeah.
This is
Are
the
you
one that
talking
start on
September?
August 20th.
Yeah.
No, in December, Christmas break.
Oh, December, okay.
You keep that the half day the 23rd, and that frees up another day there, rather than having 23rd off, half day 22nd.
So if you put the last day of school on the 3rd, and you go 2 days for fair, and the 23rd in December, you can start school September 1st.
Now you're changing everything up.
That sounds great. Yeah.
All right, can we go one at a time? Do you want the Fair Week off
I don't need the
entirety
Fair Week.
or not?
I don't need any fair days off, that's just me.
What is a collective board want?
I'm going with the fair off because we put it out to the staff, and I think that carries weight.
I agree.
We've got 2 for Fair Week off,
Wait, Fair Week.
3,
Well, they're off.
4.
I think 3 days off the fair is plenty to start later.
I'm good either way with
Full
fair,
week
as long
off.
as we're not starting the 3rd week
A
of
full
August.
week off for the kids, a month in, it's tough to get it back.
Okay, we have a proposal for 3 days off versus 2 or 5.
Great.
Okay?
That could the day, we used to
Just
have
make
3
one
days
and
off
put it on
before we
board,
gave a whole
Kevin?
week.
We've done it all different ways.
Yeah.
Because I thought
When
I
we went to
remember
school,
it used to be
3 days,
Wednesday,
then we went
Thursday,
to a
Friday.
full week, and then we went back to 2 days. It's been,
back.
in 30 years, it's been, I think, every way, except for no time off. That'd be a new one, Jared, if we went to no time off. That'd be a new one, then we could have it all.
For new board members, I was just asked to put together the two, one
Yeah.
versus the other. So I honestly don't care what we do. Just wanna get it solidified and put on the agenda next week, so. Where are we at? On topic number 1, the Fair Week.
So if you're doing 3 fair days, then you're moving the last day of school to the second?
If I do 3 fair days instead of on that calendar there, I could move the start date to the 24th, which I think people like, maybe at least as a starting point.
And we're still not gonna do anything for Thanksgiving then, right? So
I didn't get to there, I didn't get to there yet.
One
On
thing,
one at,
Well,
on
I
one time,
figured
where are we
they're
at?
dominoes when they start falling.
I know, let's get one decision first.
Okay.
How about start date? Do we all agree on the later start date?
I think
We
it's
don't wanna start that early week.
Which later one?
24th.
I'm with you, I'd love to start in September, like traditionally it was done when we were younger, but definitely not the 3rd week. That's just absurdly early to me.
Yeah, because Labor Day falls kind of late. this year.
Labor Day's real late this year.
Yeah, it's the 7th,
And
yeah.
after Labor Day start isn't really in the cards.
I don't know many local districts that start after Labor Day anymore.
Not anymore, no.
How about this, how about the 24th start, 3 days, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off the 5th?
Even the 25th starts before that day off the Christmas week, you push it up to Fair Week, that still keeps you finishing on the 1st of June.
Okay, so here's what I got. I got 3 days off at fair, so everybody good with that?
yeah,
All right, I have, we have the 24th or the 25th as a start date.
I said 24th.
I think I had one for 24 and one for 25. Next year, I'm not giving any choices. I'm gonna make a calendar.
Well, I
I'm
thought
gonna
we
put
had
it on
2
the
choices, I
agenda.
thought you were way ahead of this. Just do it and take a vote.
This is why I never did this, but I'm fast to do this. I got it, 24th or 25th? All
Have
right.
it in a row, what's it better, start on a full Monday, or do you start
Yes.
with the?
That Monday, not at the beginning, I would recommend it.
so then the 25th.
All right, we're at the 25th, and then we're gonna, last day of school is gonna be the 22nd,
June 22nd?
I think, as long as I did every all of
June
that.
22nd.
June 2nd?
June 2nd.
June 2nd, what did I say?
22nd.
Well, we're out of days.
22nd, it's a little
You're
longer.
gonna do something I don't know about here, what's going on?
Are we good?
I think 94.
Well, now let's go to, you brought up about Thanksgiving. That's the, I think the other topic. Do you want the Monday or not?
I'd say add that in and bump the end of the 3rd.
That's one.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
I'm for that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Make that last week a little more
Write all this down.
useful.
All right, that,
You're not gonna see your cheat sheet here, so I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
all right,
The only other
I,
thing I seen is our spring break and Easter break are like almost back to back.
I know, it's caused by where Easter falls.
I know, Easter's
And if you
weird this
push
year.
the spring break any further, you're gonna run into PSSA troubles.
Yeah.
But that's why it's just based on where Easter falls.
And that-
Push it in further which way, closer to Easter? or-
If I move the 8th and 9th of April down, I'll say, it becomes a problem for us.
Just cancel PSSAs. Go with that?
Unfortunately, a
That's
state of
fine.
PA is gonna have a different philosophy
I don't like
there.
that either.
I just didn't know if
I
that
just-
spring break is even useful at that point. being
Tie
that
anything
close. No.
No,
That's
you
that's
just-
just arbitrary one week,
Push
pick up
it
what
over
it
and
is.
on to the Easter week. Make Easter a whole week.
That's a good idea,
That would work.
Now, some of these are snow makeup days, so I will
They may
build
get
them
trimmed.
and they might get trimmed. Honestly, I think it's ridiculous to come back for a couple days and then go back out for spring.
That was my comment.
But what I did when I built these calendars is I kept it similar to what you guys had in the past. If you wanna move that spring break, have to do so.
time we done
Yeah.
Last year.
We never had it.
Okay.
No, I think it was the
I
year
just built
before.
it based on last experience.
Wendy's last year. No, it's,
You could get rid of those 2 days and then you're back to, last day of school being, I think, the first, if you wanted to do it that way as well.
Yeah, I'd go for that, give up your stage.
Give up those
Yeah.
days and start the
yeah, too many kids.
Start the
27th.
27th.
When is the Keystone? Liz, do you know offhand when the
Liz, you
Keystone
know
testing
offhand,
dates
I
are?
have to pull it up for the, I have to pull it up for the next one.
But you have to make sure you give yourself time for makeups.
I know.
And then you have to have graduation practice, so that all has to play into that end date. And if you end on a Monday or Tuesday, then you gotta decide, are you going to graduate the week before? Are you gonna have those kids just come back 4 days later for graduation? Or are you gonna graduate on a Tuesday night, which you can do, we've never done it. We've always gone Friday after the last day, but
Again, I just kept it the same as in years past, and graduation was on Friday.
yeah, and that's always been, I believe.
Yeah, because I think we got to the point now, we don't conflict with public health. That's been an issue this year.
I'm getting rid of spring break. You wanna go back to the teacher survey, they like spring break too.
I guess leave it though as
I
is.
say either add it to Easter and make it concurrent, or take it off the beginning of the year.
Selfishly, I don't wanna go later than 25th, but that's just me.
Almost gets you to September.
All right, how about I make a decision on that and I'll bring a calendar.
Perfect.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Next year, you're getting one calendar.
Well, at least you got a footprint to use for next year. That's the end of academic affairs, I believe. Athletics.
So for athletics, we're just looking for discussion at this point on some of these things. If there's traction on anything, we can move to something more formal in February. There's really only 2 topics for discussion tonight on a board level. The rest, I would ask for Bo and you to go back to some of the coaches and get more feedback to see what they would prefer, positives and negatives to, particularly Sunday practice parameters, athlete level move up, facility usage and location, and the coaches' communications expectations and formal evaluations. The only 2 for really board level discussion at this point would be student and parent passes. I would like to make a proposal that all students should get into for free to all sporting events with a student ID. And I'd like to make season passes available for all parents and senior citizens at the start of each season or for the school year.
So I'd like to, I'm not opposed to anything that you just said, I just want you to have all the information. So Bo, how much would we lose on a said game
So,
for the
so,
gate?
referees, let me get back to that thing. Referees, 3 referees for varsity games are $86 a piece, equals $258 for just a varsity game. The JV and freshman games are $190. There are 2 at $95. So, like the boys, we have a freshman, JV, and a varsity game. There's $448 for that referees. For the girls, because they don't have a freshman team, it's $394.
So what are you pulling at the gate?
We are pulling, I wrote our first 11 games here, anywhere from 552, our lows 284, 518, 244, 396. So
I'm sorry, what sport is this?
this is just basketball
Just
and wrestling.
Okay, perfect. So basketball is pulling 500 at the gate.
Yeah, the boys are doing better than the girls, but the girls are pulling like
And
3.
I would say probably a quarter of that might be students.
Yeah, because they're only $2. It's 4 and 2, so it's only 2, so it's a quarter.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't, you know, I
My,
mean,
my
there's,
thought process on it was, we want more involvement, we want student involvement, we want a good atmosphere for kids participating, and it gives kids something to do where they're not running around causing problems at night.
We're not trying to talk you out of it, we just want you to
Yeah.
have the.
So for me, $200 for a game, doesn't matter, I'd rather give the students the experience than collect $200 a game.
Yeah, I'm all there for students. The question is of a student ID, when do they get issued? Because I mean, if you get incoming freshmen, will they have the time for start football season?
I don't know, would you
So
know, I would know
they-
idea. For
They,
football?
kids get an ID when they get their pictures taken. So if their pictures don't come in until October, November, they don't have an ID until then.
They have from last year.
They could, but at the elementary, I don't know what they get at the elementary. Yes, so,
However we figure it out, my proposal would be students get into athletic events for free.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, but if they don't have a student ID, it's hard to.
right.
We could always
I
issue
think,
something.
I think football would be the only thing we do in the fall is football, so that would be the only,
Yeah,
because
no,
they would have
yeah.
their IDs by basketball season.
Yeah.
But whenever your kids get their pictures, is when they get their IDs.
So if
So
we
realistically,
go
that
with
only
Life
becomes a
Touch
problem
though,
for
and
football
only because, so if you go with your Life Touch IDs, if you lose them, it is more of a process to get another one issued through Life Touch. Like when I was in middle school, we just got them in the library in the state. So it was like $5 the other trade. It's easy if you lost your ID to get another one.
Maybe
But right
incentive
now-
not to lose it.
Right. Or,
Yeah, but it is a longer process and I think more costly to submit for another ID, if that's the route we go with.
I guess
only
how we
Life
do it
Touch.
would be the second part of this conversation.
Right.
Are we okay with letting students in for free?
I don't even know if you need an ID for it. I mean, if a kid comes walking up there, I mean, it's pretty, especially if they're at the age where it is an issue, if they want an issue. I mean, they're not gonna come looking like they're going to the bars.
Well, you gotta remember, there's, not every kid is Berwick.
Yeah.
Especially football, you get big, right?
Yeah, that's a little different football, because our biggest thing is middle school kids at the football games. It's not the high school kids, it's the middle school
Yeah.
walking around and for security and doing everything that causes a lot of this stuff, so.
That becomes an issue too.
Yeah.
Because you want there to root on the team, but you don't need the headache that comes with it sometimes.
And then, I agree with you doing packages for things that just never had them. I don't know how to do it, like say if it's, you know, the boys' games, there's 22 games in a season, so say 11 home games, 11 for the girls. Wrestling has about 4 home meets, and football, so say there's a total of 30. Times 2 is $60. Do you give them a break at, like, times 4, would be $240. So for an adult to get a season pass, or you just wanna do a football pass, or you wanna do a basketball
Just by
pass?
sport for parents.
Just by
Yeah,
sport.
yeah.
So you give them, I don't know what percentage you wanna give off, I can figure it out.
10% off or
It's
something.
just, it's more about being easy.
It is a pain to buy tickets every time, but, I mean, it's,
But too, where do you cut it off at? Like for football, you have cheerleaders and band too. I mean, if you're gonna do it for football players' families, cheerleaders and band are also part of the game experience too.
what do you?
Yeah, I think you'd buy a season ticket for
No, like,
whatever.
for the parents, I mean, for.
Yeah, but you wouldn't give them free, you're just doing deals for them, like a money, how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna open it up for those, I mean,
For everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
not
at
just
least,
for,
yeah.
for every
Any
adult.
parent, even for a parent that doesn't.
Yeah, not for that sport. just for
Okay, that's,
everybody.
yeah, because that's what I was
Buy
under.
I'm saying in general, anybody, like, say there's, it's $240, you wanna give them a deal at $200, or you wanna?
Okay, yeah.
Each sport,
We said like maybe like 10% off if you buy them.
we can figure that, come up with figures.
Yeah, something like that.
That's
That's-
fine. I think a lot of people would rather not come in one time to buy and stay in line.
Yeah, I was under the impression the way it was worded here that it was just for, like you said, if you're a football player or
No, it's for
basketball,
every-
so that's
every
good process.
Yeah.
That's great, yeah.
Do a special thing. The
That's
senior
good.
citizens are only $2 anyway, but
We thought that because that's what it says, that's what I thought too.
Yeah,
It says the family display.
yeah, because I mean,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
just doing it for football, then what about the band, the cheerleaders for basketball, but if it's for parents across the board, that eliminates it.
Yeah, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Is anybody opposed to that? You want us to work on that?
You say parents and families and students.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah. Even.
That's what it meant.
But even that it doesn't have, like, people that doesn't have students, kids that wanna go to games or anything, just give a discount to,
Be a package for the.
a package for everyone, for the general public, period.
It's kind of like selling season tickets for football.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a
It's
general.
a general, it's a
baseball
general
package.
package, right.
Instead of saying
Anybody
reserve
can buy,
seats
out
or
of towners,
whatever.
anybody.
Has there been feedback on the cost of game school not going to the games because of the cost? Okay.
It's like, what, $4 here for football?
For adults, and then senior citizens and students are $2. So we've never raised, like, there's some schools that went to 3 and 5, but we've been at 2 and 4 ever since I've been here.
I'd like to see actually something written,
Mhm.
because it almost seems like we're creating a problem that we don't have. And if we're talking, we're still gonna pay for these packages, like, for us to make a decision without knowing what the package is gonna
Right.
be.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you want us to put something.
Yeah, I would say that we need more information before we could wrap our heads around
Because I
it.
don't think we have admission in most of those schools.
No.
The only thing we do is football, basketball, wrestling.
We don't wanna cause an issue with it.
Plenty of time.
Because I can see us jumping into this, and now we're trying to figure out who owns what. and
I'll
the last one
figure,
passed.
We'll
Yeah,
put
we
it
need that.
together for you.
I mean, it's worth exploring, I mean, that's for sure.
I'll do for students, seniors.
I agree with
and
you.
adults.
Tell you what, I'm not
Great
afraid of, I'll put
problem with that.
multiple
Options.
Learn my lesson there on the calendar.
I learned my lesson. I appreciate.
I see
what
you
you're
about
doing.
7 options here, why not, come on.
That's why I'm Wednesday nights, Dr. Ben.
The only other one for a board discussion would be feasibility, maybe it's not, feasibility of an annual daytime game for students and parents.
So, we did this at my previous school. We started it probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. One year we would do, it was winter sports, so indoor sports. I know we have volleyball here, so we could throw in volleyball as well. But we would have a boys game, and then maybe the next year we'd have a girls basketball game. Then the following year we'd have a wrestling match. It happened during the school day. It gives an opportunity for the entire student body of the high school. There were parameters around behavior, so if a kid didn't meet certain expectations, they didn't go. But for the most part, as long as you met those expectations, you went. It was a really great environment, I think, for our kids. Very loud environment, probably the loudest crowd that our kids played in front of. What we did was we offered for the school that came to play us, we reciprocated that the following year. So if someone came and played boys here, then that next year our boys would go and play in front of their student body. I think it's a great thing to build school spirit. I'd love to see Berwick do it. Probably the only downside is one game probably every 4 years, if you cycled it, every 3 years, something like that. Parents that work during the day might miss out on that game. Other than that, game can't go into overtime because buses are sitting outside waiting. But other than that, I think it's a great environment for kids. So, is anybody opposed?
What would you do when you have a tie game?
We won't let a tie game happen, but we won't allow the ball. Anybody have any feedback on it?
Were you able to get referees for games like that?
Yeah, I mean, half the ones that don't work are older, we can't get young referees anyways, that's what we're retired. Yeah, but I think it'd be great, and I also think like we could do basketball, we could do wrestling, we could do even a volleyball. Like, it would be great. We talked to the AD, and it's great when you have a home game, because it's all your cheer, but when you go there, it's a little
That's
challenge
even
of your kids to kind of play
That'd be
against.
more fun.
But I think it'd be, something for a challenge for that, I think it's.
Probably be the biggest house a lot of these kids have ever played from.
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids, like, we think that all our kids go to sporting events. Not all kids go to sporting events. So it's an opportunity for the kids that don't go to sporting events to actually see a sporting event.
And parents can, it's open to the public, to people that can make a section off.
Yeah, we section off and we'd allow parents to come for those games that can attend. Anybody opposed? Good, because we have it set up. I think Schickleming has agreed to come here next year, and correct me if I'm wrong, for the boys.
The boys are here on 12,
Our
14.
girls are gonna go to Schick and play during the day.
The next
And then the next year we'll flop it.
Right.
And then we'll throw in wrestling, and we can talk about volleyball as well. So we just cycle it one every year.
We did them 11:45 because after, I think we were talking about the lunches, right after, we move one of the lunches up, to right after lunch, get them over to the gym. You know, they play and then get them out by the busing, you know, for busing, get them back in time. So.
Good idea.
That's it.
I got something for you. Can we, get a list for our coaches to approve 2 months before season starts, so we don't run into what we did last year?
Yes, and I was gonna do this before, cause I did the ones earlier, the spring and the winter. But the fall ones, before break, I was trying to get everything, and I have the spring ones out, and I emailed them to Rachel today. And I was wondering if I can put them on now, for the spring.
I'd like to put the
Spring coaches.
coaches on next week, but Bo was late on them, so I didn't let him put them on.
Yeah.
But I was gonna send them out and ask for them to put them.
I sent them to Jason and Rachel today. They have them. I have a copy of them. I can make copies. So you guys can take a look. I was doing that, and I meant to do it before, and I just got called.
What I can do is send you guys out the list prior,
Yeah.
and then we'll add it to next week.
I mean, they're not on the preliminary agenda, but you still got 24 hours before the meeting to add it, so we still have time in that
Yeah.
regard. So yeah, get them on the agenda for next week.
Anything else?
Nope.
Moving on, budget.
So budget, next month, February, I'll have a first look at the budget for you. I'm hoping to have a very, there will be certain things that we won't have numbers for yet, but hopefully have a very close to final budget for you for discussion at that time. What I work really hard to do is give you real numbers. So I've looked at multiple years of data for certain topics, and we'll talk in February, where historically you've been under budget, we'll bring that down, and where you've been over budget, we'll add that too. So February will be the first look at the work session for budget discussions.
Building and grounds.
Buildings and grounds, I have 3 proposals in front of me. They're attached to your work session agenda and board docs. We got a proposal from Peter's consultant. This is for tennis courts and for track and turf replacement at Gordon Field.
Yeah,
Say again?
They're not there.
Oh, they're not there. Rachel, we'll send them out to you tomorrow. Peter's Consultant, Murata, Maine, and ELA Sports. You've worked, I think, with Peter's Consultant, they're a local group, and you've also worked with ELA Sports. I think ELA Sports did the turf replacement down at the football stadium, I don't know, 2 years ago.
you need to be careful who we hire. I mean, if anyone see the local news with what's going on in Bloomsburg with the pickleball courts. So you want to make sure what we have to look at this specializes in this stuff, so we don't have
So
anything go sideways.
I'll send these out to you tomorrow. What I would recommend to you is I don't think we can bite both of them off this current year and get both of these done. The cost is, I think you need to break them up into years. If you want my opinion, and I think, Bo, you can speak up too, I think the tennis courts are in dire need. The cracks are almost as large as half of my foot. I think that needs to be done first, and then I think you can talk about the track and the turf out here. The turf is 13 years old. It's at the end of its life. Certainly, I think you can get another year, but it's at the end of its life. On paper, Peter Consultants was the cheapest. They came in at $19,300, and I'm only talking tennis courts for the design. Now, looking at all three of these, it's not apples to apples. I don't know why, and we can call Peters and ask him this, but they put in installing Versa court tiles. Well, that's not an option. And if you don't know what the Versa court tiles are, if you went by like a community playground that has a plastic tile over it, I don't even think that would be PIAA eligible, so that's not an option. We could go back to them and say, what can you do? We met, Brent, myself, and Bo met with all three groups. We gave them all the same message, that we were looking for a tennis court replacement. I don't know why Versa tiles was used in this proposal. And we also put in that we, about cores being done and also drainage. This group did not put anything in with drainage, and I would not recommend, even though they're the cheapest, I think you have a problem over there that you need to look at drainage before you put new tennis courts on top of a current problem. At least get a look at what's going on underneath.
So these costs are just for the design?
This is just for design. So that was 19.3, but that does not have what we asked them to put together. Murata, Maine, for tennis courts alone, came in at 45.7. It has all the aspects of what we were looking for a proposal. ELA Sports, for tennis courts alone, came in at, I think it's 40,500, but I want to make sure I got the right number. 40,500 for engineering for tennis courts. So, why we started this process is we talked about both these as things that need done in the district. We need a design if you want to apply for the USTA grant towards the tennis courts. There's no guarantee that we would get a grant to support that, but without a design, we can't apply.
How much would the grant be?
We're up to, I think, 200,000. Could be zero. Regardless, you need a design if you're going to do tennis courts. So, if you want my recommendation, ELA Sports, this is what they do. You've worked with them in the past, they've given us everything that we wanted. I would recommend that as far as the tennis courts. I would recommend, and I'll send these out to you. The field numbers are slightly less, I think around 30, sorry, 33.5 for the turf and track. That's the design. But I would not recommend doing that this current year, just because I think you're gonna look at probably a price tag. This is not for doing it. This would be designing it and bidding it and handling all that. I think you're gonna look at somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.5 in that neighborhood. For this out here, tennis courts are gonna probably be somewhere around 500,000.
Did any of these groups have a hand in the engineering of the existing tennis court?
So, I can't tell you
I
last
guess
night,
they were not engineered at all.
I can't tell you if there's
Tennis
anyone
courts are
ever
merely
involved.
pavement.
I mean, if there's anyone in here in the room that was around when they were even put it in.
Is
Designing.
Is that what they were talking
track.
about, the
I thought
specs?
that was merely a resurface.
Mill and resurface, I don't know what.
I don't know what designing we actually need on that. That should just be hiring a company to resurface.
You can, and they'll hire their own person to design it for them. So they'll engage with an ELA Sports in that process regardless. If you want it built into that cost, that's an option as well.
I just don't understand why we're designing an existing
Probably
field.
You need it done right, because obviously, we don't sort of resurface. Bob,
You
you
don't
could
have
say
a
the last,
design,
what, 10
something's
years,
done
how many
wrong.
times we've
Yeah,
messed with that
I
tennis
don't think it
court?
was a long, long time ago, and we've had issues with that court now. This isn't the first year.
Years of draining, you got it, they were talking when they were there about going down and putting drains. I don't know if they
I
have.
think there's any opposition to engineering the tennis courts.
No.
No, we've had conversations and projects that.
We talked a lot
There
about
on
numerous
turf,
tennis
down
courts
in
years
turf.
ago because of the drainage.
Yeah, if that
That's
was looked into,
maintenance.
yeah.
It's not referee.
So I wouldn't recommend doing them both at once anyway, so, do we put off the conversation about Gordner Field till around this time next year?
I'd say so. Hopefully we get influx of revenue with that one.
Is there a desire to move forward with engaging with someone for design of tennis courts?
I think it needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, someone's gonna get seriously hurt there if it cracks that like that.
Is the desire to engage with the company that provided the lowest bid, or lowest quote, proposal, being ELA Sports with the specs that we requested?
I just sent everybody any that's been on there.
I can't trust someone that doesn't know PIAA specs. I mean,
Or someone that doesn't give you what you asked for in your
yeah,
bid.
well, I mean, the what stuff that doesn't even qualify, I mean, there's something as basic as that, you can't give that right.
You could do that on like a community park type of, work, but you couldn't do that on a school.
Yeah, I mean, if you couldn't figure that out, give me the information, and I don't know how much I can help you.
Anybody opposed that I add ELA Sports, engage with them on next week's agenda? Now, going into this, if we're going to do the tennis courts, and I'm throwing that $500,000 number, we would need to use capital, take that out of capital projects.
I don't think we should be discussing spending money on tennis courts until we see what the budget looks like, before we decide whether we're gonna raise taxes. To me, that's just outside. Just taxes, the people who live here, that's what should be more important. Extracurriculars are nice, I wouldn't waste my time. 10 minutes we've already wasted on it.
Well, the board asked me to bring these back, so that's what I'm doing.
I wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
But taxes are gonna be raised. We're pretty much gonna have to do it. There's a lot of questions on budget that have to be answered before we can do very much. And we've raised taxes for the last 3 years, we don't need to keep raising them. We now have to start reining in, and tennis courts, I don't think it's a priority.
No, I wouldn't be able to vote to approve that much for tennis court without a budget.
Oh, you're not gonna be at that point, until after during the budget process. I don't care what you do. You've asked me to bring this back, I think the tennis courts are in dire need. The collective board asked me to bring this back.
What's absent that day, obviously.
Okay, the collective board asked me to bring this back. I'm bringing this back. If you don't wanna do the tennis courts, don't do the tennis courts. They're in terrible shape that you have your kids on there playing.
I understand, we've heard this for the last 2 years. We've been waiting for Amazon to give us a couple of bucks, they haven't given us a cent. We waste our time talking to those guys, begging for money that they don't give us. And that's, I heard exactly the same out there at traffic. Has to be done, had to be done last year.
We had the cracks sealed last year.
You remember?
Yeah.
All right, so we have one that does not want this put on there. Anybody else?
I'd like to see it on the agenda.
If we buy the engineering permits, do they expire? I mean, are they good for a period of time, or are they good till whenever we get around the building?
They're good for a certain amount of time. I can't answer that question. However, they're not, they might not be good for 10 years.
Right.
But they're good for at least probably 5, I'd say.
I couldn't answer that.
Without having an engineer here, I couldn't tell you.
We got a roof blowing out this thing.
Yeah,
We're talking about
Jeff,
that.
we gotta know where we're at money wise first.
Facilities grant, we're gonna go after for the roof. Came out today. You're gonna need to do that, you're correct. Don't wanna do the tennis courts? I'll
That's
put
up
it
to you
back.
guys.
I don't care.
against it. Until we see if we have to raise taxes. I'm against anything until we have to raise taxes. Extracurricular, that's one thing, that's down here. Education should be up here. We don't discuss very much education. We talk a lot about sports. education should be up here, and that should be what determines whether we raise taxes.
I agree, we can't vote on doing the work until we see the budget. But we can have this discussion before that. And athletics are a big part of academics. For a lot of kids, they're the most important.
If we get a grant that covers a good portion of it, that's a huge win too. Stuff is guaranteed, but
I have no idea if you'll get that grant or not, but I can't apply for that grant without a design.
you can guarantee, you know, if you don't try what grant you will do.
And then if you do get the grant, it is the 200,000, and we still need another 300, and that's gonna come out of tax raise. How long is that grant money good for till we spend it on the courts?
If you choose to bring it out of tax raise, that's fine, or you can take it out of capital projects, which is 3.3 million. We'll only put this off till February.
Jason, could I say something? I've been in this situation kind of before to where you buy a design now and don't use it right this second. So if we would buy the design, we'd own the design. We get the blueprints, we get it electronically. If you don't do it right now and you do it a couple years from now, you might not have that company support it, but you would have the design and Jason could approve, could apply for that grant. Maybe you get the grant, maybe you move forward with it, but I've done designs before, but it fell through, and then a couple of years later, we did do it, like Jason said, 10 years later, maybe not, but a year or two later, you still own the design.
Are they safe to play on?
You want me to answer the
I
question?
mean, if we're having tennis next year, unless we're.
You need to go and walk and see, they're bad. I mean, like you said, you can't believe that they're playing.
They're open to the public too, right?
Yeah, they're open to the public. The cracks are, they're just enormous. I mean, it's.
Unless we're gonna close the courts down and cancel the tennis season, I think we have to move forward with it.
We don't have to make a decision tonight. I think
No, we don't.
I think we should have the engineering on the agenda for next week to make the decision.
Well, you could also vote it down.
We'll take a look. I'm seriously, go see, go see all that. And I'm not disagreeing with Jeff or anything like that.
Oh, no, see, I heard the same nonsense about an estimate tax, 17 million, we can't, buildings unsalvageable. We sat here tonight. It all depends on what you guys want. That's why I hate these little meetings. I swear to God, this should have been attached to the agenda. I would have said nothing all night. Now my blood pressure's up in the air. You guys kill me.
Well, we didn't.
And I kept a lot quiet. I didn't know we were biting my tongue.
We didn't mean to not have them attached to the agenda, but it is a work session, you're not voting. You can review them all you want.
I say put it on and give this a week, if we wanna go look at it, we can, if we wanna talk to people, we can. And move on, so we don't lose Jeff tonight.
I was getting ready to go. I was waiting, actually.
I'm gonna just bring it full circle and put it on.
Okay, moving on, CSIU, we did not fill that position last month, but Mrs. Phillips graciously, said she'd do it. She's gonna be on the agenda next week. And your first meeting after that, so CSIU on. Policy committee.
The only policy committee's recommended at the moment is to adjust our meeting agenda policy
Yeah, I was gonna make
to where we do all the comment, one comment period before the agenda, to include agenda
For a
items in-
board meeting.
For a regular voting board.
And we need to adjust the meeting's policy to reflect this meeting and the board meeting. Because I think the way it's written now, it's just for the way it was before, where it was committee as a whole, right, and then a board meeting.
Right, yep.
Yeah, so that needs to, that and, like I said, if we're having public comment both nights, it makes sense, nothing really changes.
Just so I understand that, one public comment at the work session, one public comment at the voting meetings, that, and then it would be on any topic.
anytime.
Because you have to have the agenda to public comment, so we would just
Yeah.
have one period.
Do you want me to put the policy together and bring back? I don't mean put it on next week's agenda, I mean, do you want me to get it put together?
For how little change it should be, I mean, potential, there is the potential it could be first read next week.
Yeah, I can do that as well.
If not, next.
Yeah, if not, following, yeah.
I mean, there's
We
not
can-
much
we-
that needs to get done.
Not much needs to be changed, we can get that done and put it on.
No,
next
we just
week's
need to
agenda.
reflect the current format.
Right, I don't think it needs to be a priority for next week, but if we can get it for next
If
week.
you got
first
time,
read, that's
fine, if
great.
not, we'll get it shaped for this time, February. So, VOTEC, Phillips and myself went down to the reorganization, she's our new VOTEC rep, as we all know. Right now, their teacher contract is in fact-finding, which the way fact-finding works is each side presents its best case proposal, and it goes before, basically an arbitrator for the state, I might use the wrong term, but that's kind of the way it works. They come up with it, each side votes on it, and once that vote's done, it becomes public, whether it's approved, not approved. So we're in the process of that, hopefully, maybe even as early as next week, we might have some update for that, but right now, that's as far as we have. The gym floor, that's been completed, all but $5,000 that was covered by the insurance, thanks to that busted pipe. Last day before us, the wall pads need to get, new wall pads need to get reinstalled so they can have sports, we use it for gym, they can't do sports because of the safety issue. Right now, like basketball, they're playing at Central Columbia, they've been gracious enough to host us for that, until it's up and running. We have reorganization down there, Darrell Riker Jr., he is the current president of the Danville Board, he is the new chair down there. And Cynthia Bradley from Southern, she is the vice chair, what the new leadership is. And for the study, we got proposals from three. PACTA, PCATA, which is a Pennsylvania Association of Career Technical Administrators, Site Logic, and SREB, Southern Regional Education Board. We just got an email today, SREB just pulled out, so we're down to two. We're looking at bringing both Site Logic and PACTA in for a public presentation for the JOC to determine which, if we want to go with one of them companies. Once I get more information for that, we're originally looking at doing the January workshop, but I don't think one of the companies is going to be available. So once I get a date that this presentation is going to occur, I can update everybody. So I said you're more than welcome to come down and see what they have to provide for us. So I don't know, Tony, if I missed anything.
I don't hear anything. And I just saw that email that the one put out.
Yeah, so we're down to
Two.
two to do a presentation, so.
What are they presenting?
Basically, their spiel about what they're gonna provide to do that study.
They're gonna present to us their thoughts on the study.
Yeah, what, based upon the criteria that was given to them, so we'll see, because the price, is basically close to the same for all of those.
So
What are they
the
looking at waste
what's
in
the
them?
ballpark?
It's about between 25, 30 grand.
They're giving it.
But it's gonna be, that amount's gonna be split across the seven districts. VOTEC's not paying for any of this. And, so what was brought up in our meeting there, we're not looking at really changing the model, we're looking at getting information to fix problems down there. And this is the best way for us to go about that.
And it'll take a year.
Better part, yeah, the timelines in their proposal, by the time it goes through, it's basically a year. And then from that point, it's up to the JOC to decide if they want to go with their proposal or whatever, and if we major changes, or there could be next to no changes. Me personally, I don't think there's gonna be too many changes, but I'm gonna
And we'll just
Hold
pay a
open mind.
percentage out of this 30,000 to hear somebody come and tell us what they think the effect should be.
What was that, Tom?
We're just gonna pay a small percentage of the 30,000?
Yeah, I think it's based upon, the capital, I'm not 100% sure, so don't exactly quote me. That's what it's be.
I hope I don't become like you, Jeff.
It's supposed to be done based upon, like the capital is, like the percentage
Right.
of real estate. It's either that or it's gonna be done by the percentage of students. I think it's gonna be done based upon capital. I'm not 100% sure about.
So they're gonna come here and explain to us what they're actually going to say?
No, it's gotta be at a VOTEC meeting, but it's gonna be an open public meeting, so anyone here that wants to go down and see it is
Okay.
more than welcome to go.
And they're gonna explain what they're going to study?
Yeah, exactly.
I think they were given parameters to study. There's not I'm speaking only my opinion. There's not a group, that group is not gonna come and say, here's what the VOTEC should look like. They're gonna say, here's an option, here's an option, here's an option.
And it's up to you to,
They're not gonna say, oh, we think you guys should go with this model. I just wanna make sure that's understood. And I'm not advocating for the study, I'm just telling you what I
Yeah, it's
know.
just, I mean, that's a lot of, I mean, the options, we could probably come together here in 5 minutes with the administration and come up with those 3 options.
this is what GSC decided upon. They figured this is probably the easiest and most impartial way to try to solve problems. It's kind of how it became to the point where it's at. I mean, a lot of the problems have been discussed wholeheartedly. Academic performance has been key for a lot. We haven't had discussions of curriculum down there.
Yeah, you either stay full, you go halftime, or you do some kind of hybrid. There's your 3 options.
$7,000 I paid. $3,000.
There's your options. And your study could be, you go to like
Look at me
going, you
say.
get their model, bring it here, and you go over to CCTI and you get their hybrid model. And you put that together in their full model, there's your 3 options.
You're 100% correct, there's only 3 models.
I mean, it's gonna be anything from transportation.
Jeff, I'm gonna be a no with you on that one. But, I mean, it needs discussed, but it just seems, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, we're gonna pay
money.
possibly 30,000 to hear someone come present those 3 models.
Well, we're not paying 30, this is
No,
what the
but
total
we
cost
are as
is,
a-
but
we
we're
are as
paying
a-
a fraction
We are
of
as
it,
a
yeah.
group,
We're part of it, yeah, we're gonna pay a few
Well, here's
thousand,
mine.
yeah.
I don't know what else.
I think they probably look at space.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Space
Probably
is
look
one.
at transportation, looking at enrollment, how many kids we could serve.
Right.
Not justifying it, I'm just.
Understood.
That's where we're at now. Okay, moving on, review the preliminary agenda we have, obviously this is subject to change as discussed tonight. So right now we have G1 through G3, it's 3 items.
I don't have any questions on any of this.
Or if anyone wants to speed along, so we go through each one, does anyone have any questions on any items as we currently said? If you come up with any questions between now and next week, you can obviously ask them. We'll probably do a voting block like we did before, like say G1 to G3, and anyone can make a motion to break it out for roll call, whatever you want to do.
We can get a 3rd option on the calendar.
No. I'm going with Jeff on this one.
I want to go 4 and 5, just have more fun. So if no one has any questions, we'll move along. Other, I guess, for any board members have any comments, questions? Want to jump on board? Dr. Bendel.
Nothing further.
Okay, now it's time for the public comment. Maximum 3 minutes. If you want to speak, your name and your location.
Crystal Michalowski, Nescapac. I know you guys skimmed over quickly about the Sunday practices. You really need to talk to Bo. He has a very difficult job of fitting in all the games, especially, my daughter plays soccer. And we had a game every Monday except Labor Day. So we need those Sunday practices to prepare for those games on Monday. Just from August 25th to September 5th, they had 6 games. The 25th, 27th, 28th, 30th, 2nd, and 5th. So it is a very short time frame for Bo to fit all these games in. So we need all of the practices that we can get for these players to prepare the best way for the games. I understand, I have to drive my daughter there. They do need a break. But with a schedule like that of playing every single Monday, we need those Sunday practices. We really do. So I just, really work with Bo and get where he's coming from. He explained it to me. He has a very difficult time of fitting all of these in when he needs to in that very short time period. And we start even before school starts, especially depending on what calendar you guys agree to. We started the week before with scrimmages and everything. So just keep that in mind, that we do need those practices. Coach Randy is here and he does his best to give our girls a break. But we do need those practices to be able to compete at the best level we can.
Anybody else? Okay, just a reminder, we'll be meeting here at the same room next Monday, 7 o'clock, so look for a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.